That's a layup. That's a layup. Shoot it. Why didn't you shoot it, Ben? No! I still remember this day like it was yesterday. I was watching on League Pass, it ruined my day, it ruined the next few weeks, and I was insufferable for a while because of a random stranger who did not finish a layup. And this is when I realized that watching sports, at least being this obsessed with it, is a huge waste of time. Now before you close this video or leave a comment calling me crazy, I've been a huge sports fan all of my life. I was born in 1992 at the peak of Michael Jordan's powers, and I really have fond memories of watching the Chicago Bulls, my dad's favorite team at the time, just beat the ever-living hell out of everyone during the 90s. I still have a vague memory of Jordan coming back with the number 45 and how big of a deal that was. And I've carried that obsession with the NBA and basketball in general all throughout adulthood. I religiously followed all of the box scores, I played fantasy basketball for a while, I bought all of the 2Ks, I was all in and it played a big part of my life. I even remember back in the 2011 finals, I hated the Miami Heat so much that me and my girlfriend, my fiance now, wore Dirk Nowitzki masks that she had helped cut out, and it was a great bonding experience for us. But recently, I've come to a realization. I started to feel like my relationship with sports, with the NBA in particular, was starting to get more harmful than helpful. I found myself getting way too involved and way too invested in players and teams. It got to a point where it had a real impact on my mood. I would wake up, check my box scores, see that my team lost, I would have a really bad day at work and not do well at my job because I would be so upset at the outcome of something. I remember rooting for the Houston Rockets against the Golden State Warriors back when they missed 20-something threes. And I was watching that live as I was working, and I was freaking out because everyone in the office was a Golden State Warriors fan, fair weather fans. And that ruined my day because I was so invested in James Harden's legacy for some reason. I just realized that it was not a very healthy way to live. I was wasting my time and energy on complete strangers who, in the grand scheme of things, don't really affect my life at all. And I was also potentially damaging my mental health by letting the outcomes of games, which I have zero control over, get to me. I was also the type to be chronically online, on Twitter, on Reddit, just seeing how people argued take after take, seeing people argue if LeBron James was better than Michael Jordan, when in reality there's no real way to find out because they don't play in the same era. So after all that, I decided to step back a bit and reevaluate my relationship with sports. I realized that it's okay to enjoy watching and consuming sports as long as I keep my distance, in a sense. I should not let it consume my life. Started to focus on other hobbies and interests, and while I still watch the NBA, I am no longer as emotionally attached to it. I don't pay for League Pass anymore because I was spending way too much money on it. I think it's around 200 to 300 USD here in Australia for a year of League Pass, which really adds up. I feel like I now have a better balance in terms of my work, my hobbies, my family, my loved ones. Now, I'm not saying that watching sports is inherently a bad thing. It can be a great way to bond with people, to have a shared love for something. But when you become so attached to your favorite teams and their performance in a way that affects your mood and even maybe your relationship with others, like I've seen people just fight over their favorite sports team, that's when it becomes a problem. Let's face it, there are so many downsides to being a hardcore sports fan. It can be a huge time sink. And the funny thing is that a lot of the time is not even around watching games. It's about the discourse around the games. All of the podcasts you can consume, all of the analysis that you can consume. Just think about it, like how much time as a fan do you spend actually watching the game versus consuming everything around it? Think about all of the hours you've wasted checking box scores, refreshing box scores, arguing with random people online, and the feeling that you get when your team loses. Imagine what you can do with all that time and energy back. When your entire self and self-worth is tied to a particular team or a particular player, that can be very draining because think about it, you can't control any of this. It's all up to them, and when you have complete strangers affecting your mood in such a big way, I think it's time to rethink your life choices. I'd love to hear in the comments how you've coped with this problem or how you've adjusted your mindset. It's not like I've quit watching sports, it's just that I have seen the negative effect it has on me as a person, and now I just consume it as entertainment, which is all it is supposed to be. You're not your friends, you don't have any relationships with your sport teams, they don't know who you are, and you should not let the outcome of sports affect your life. That's all. See you next time.